Stephen Foster preview day at Churchill Downs. And look at this, some great stakes action from race 6 through to race 11. Dave, there's one I want to get your thoughts on in particular. The Grade 3 Blame goes off as race number 10. They'll go the distance of 1 mile and an eighth for the 4-year-olds and up. There's a couple of big contenders coming in for this one. We'll start with the 9 in post time for Brittany Russell. Sheldon getting aboard was a very impressive win last out over there at Laurel, but this is certainly going to be a big step up in class. Has mixed it with some tough foes in the past, but trying to get the win at this particular level, this is going to be a big assignment.
Well, you know, he was second last year in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, so we know he has the Grade 1 ability. Didn't beat a whole lot last time out as 2-5 favorite, but look, this was just the first start back. Was winning by 2 and then 5 and then 10 and runs up the score here to win by more than 13 lengths under Sheldon Russell, who is going to make the trip to Churchill Downs to stay aboard this 5-year-old that he always goes to ride. This millionaire, $1.2 million in career earnings, had just an unbelievable season last year. The Maryland bred taking his show on the road.
That is the 9 in post time. Most wanted is the 7, and we take it back to the Grade 2 Alashiba Stakes at Churchill Downs on the 2nd of May, and is going to come in for runner-up. Was right there as the front marker as they hit the lane and turned for home. Just didn't have enough to finish it off against one of the best in fierceness.
Exactly.
But
Look
most
who he's
wanted. Yeah, we can take a lot of confidence away from this run.
So he won the first 4 starts of his career. He has lost his last 3 in finishing second, but he was second behind Rattle and Roll, Skippy Longstocking, and Fierceness. 3 horses that have ever finished in front of him in his whole career are all unbelievable multiple stakes winners. He's got a big chance in here.
Back class is a thing. Last year's Kentucky Derby champion in Mystic Dan makes the return. Now we saw this performance over at Oaklawn Park.
Huge.
Earlier in the season. This was a monster run, Dave. Going back and forth, 2 heavyweights in Dan and Saudi Crown squaring off. Wasn't enough to get it done. It certainly bodes well coming back in for this one.
Well, he's back. That's the thing, because he bombed in the Belmont, he bombed in the Malibu, he was terrible in the Pegasus, and then he was huge here. He got a 101 Bayard, best of his career, and it just was a huge relief, I think, for Kenny McPeak to say, look, whatever was not getting the fire in those other 3 races, we got it figured out now. So he comes into this race with huge momentum once again.
Huge dollars in that bankroll as well. Mystic Dan, the 4, past Kentucky Derby champion. Could this be the horse to beat, or could it be coming from elsewhere? What about Banishing? Let's stack the 2 up to the big contenders coming in for this weekend's Blame Stakes out at Churchill Downs. Mystic Dan just has the 3 wins, but one of those very impressive and showed a lot of grit last out. 7 for 19 is the career record for Banishing. Stakes wins, 2 against 1. Career earnings, obviously, with Mystic Dan's success in 2024, going to have the edge on that side. But then if you look at the speed fix, the buyers, it's Banishing who's back up on top.
Yeah, Banishing 5 out of the 6 last races have been 100-plus buyers, and his last race, when he only got a 98, he was absolutely out of his mind. So good in here, got left at the gate. He's never far back. He's always up amongst the leaders, and he almost won despite being last in the slot. This was just an incredible horse that is on a roll right now for David Jacobson. He went through the Oaklawn meet, dancing every dance there, the Razorback, Oaklawn Mile, Oaklawn Handicap, showed up to the Grade 1 Churchill Downs last time out, and lost barely to Mindframe in a 4-way photo finish. Nisos Dead heated for second with Banishing, and he's going to show up in the Triple Bend at Santa Anita. But is he or isn't he going to go in the Blame? Because he could want to go in the Met Mile. I wouldn't want to go in the Met Mile. That field is stacked.
Heavyweights waiting in the cage there for DRF Hirsch. Banishing
could run in both.
Blame. I've seen wilder things happen.
I mean, look at this horse. He raced twice in November, December, January, February, March,
5
April, May. I mean, he's good. If they're good.
You look at the last 4
durable.
months, has barely finished outside the top 2.
That'd be a lot to ask.
Exactly what they're trying to show up and achieve. That's Banishing the 8. What about Alexander Helios the 2? This is back in the Razorback Handicap with Tyler Gaffalione aboard. Very impressive performance, went on to get the victory. We've had a start since this. It really didn't have it on that return, but we know the back speed is there. And Saffy Joseph, the barn's hot right now.
Well, he's winning all over the country, including Santa Anita last weekend. So, you know, if he shows up the way he did in the Razorback, he could be right there. I still think he's maybe a cut below this field, even though it's a grade 3. This feels like a grade 1 to me.
It really does. Some of the best in the sport squaring off, and you can watch it this Saturday. They'll be live at Churchill Downs and live right here on FanDuel TV. If you're looking to jump in and play this one, the Money Back Special will be live for Churchill Downs races 8, 10 and 11, and the 10th out at Santa Anita.